excited to be here. Thank you very much. Could you please sit down? Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you very much. I'm looking at where to start. So, first off, let me celebrate. Mommy, good to see you, ma. Welcome. I heard a lot about you, and I do a bit of background check on people when I know I'm going to share stage with them. So it's good to see you. My sister, Ronke, Ronnie G. Wow. I mean, at the point I just felt, let me just enter my car and just go back home. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, she blew up everything and, and all that. Of course, I have with me MC Fred. Sir, good to see you as always. Thank you very much, sir. It's always good to see you. And of course, my host, thank you for inviting me. And I celebrate you a lot and all that. Yeah, thank you very much. Can we celebrate ourselves? Can we celebrate ourselves? There's something we used to do when we're young. We do this, we do this. That kind of clap where you celebrate yourself, touch yourself, clap, and then, just to celebrate yourself. Can we do that together? 1, 2, 3, go. 1. Yeah. Now give a round of applause to yourself. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Okay, so my time is counting. Okay. All right, so I want to apologize to my dear sister for coming late. I had an emergency this morning, and it was a leadership issue, really. I'm also the secretary to my landlord association, and we had some things going on. I needed to be there. So I want to appreciate for coming late because I'm very conscious about time. Okay, am I forgiven? Thank you. Beautiful. All right, so let's talk about leadership lexicon. First off, let me say that my name is Atiba, not Adetiba. Kemi Adetiba has caused trouble for me. It's a good one though. I mean, it makes me a bit famous, they ask me sometimes, so do you know the story behind the King of Boys? I say, well, I laugh, but I don't know nothing. I'm not Adetiba, I'm Atiba. All right, so beautiful. So leadership lexicon, I want to talk to us on strategies to enhance your communication skills for leadership success in your industry. Now, so you're going to forgive me because I'm a mixture of quite a lot of things. So I'm going to lecture some, I'll teach some. I'm going to throw questions at you as a coach. Is that fine? Can we go on like that? Beautiful, thank you. So let's have some background definitions to help us out. The word strategy, number one, means a plan of action. A plan of action designed to achieve a long-term or overall aim. So when we're talking about strategy, it's a plan of action, something that you're going to commit to doing, right, to get to where you want to get to. Is that good? Number two, the word communication skills, because sometimes we take some things for granted and we don't define them. So, we have a mixed understanding of what it is. Communication skills is actually the ability to convey or share ideas. You convey or share your ideas and feelings. I love that part. So that means communication is beyond you just speaking. Communication also means you're conveying your feelings, right? See, when I got on stage, my energy was a bit low, right? My energy is kind of like steadily climbing, right? And I'm sure you can feel it, right? Okay. So you convey not just your words, not just your thoughts, your ideas, but you also convey your feelings effectively, right? Number three, the word leadership is the ability of an individual or group of people to influence and guide followers or members of an organization, society, or team. So you guide, you influence, you inspire, you motivate every once in a while, because the word guide also means that sometimes you have to correct, that's part of it. So you do that, but you must have people that follow you. You don't just lead nothing. So it reminds me of a story of a woman that wanted to be promoted, in the civil service for years. And the problem was the HR kept on saying, you don't have people that you manage. How do you want to become a director when there are no people under you? It's not possible. Because at that level, when you become a director, you must have people that you are managing. You must have people that you're what? That you are managing. Let's look at the word lexicon. When I heard the word leadership lexicon, even me, I went to dictionary again. I must confess. So the word lexicon means the vocabulary of a person, language, or branch of knowledge. So we're talking now about the kind of language that leaders should use, right? To communicate so that they can succeed in their industry. Is that fine? And we have all sorts of leaders. We have all sorts of industries. And the last word, which sometimes I feel it's underrated, is the word success. Because success is relative. What I consider success is not what you consider success, right? So let's look at that word, the general definition. It means the state or condition of meeting a defined range of expectations. So that means everybody has their own expectation, right? So I've discovered for some people, their definition of success is that they have like 7 cars, they build like 10 houses, and they have like $10 million in their account. That's their own definition of success. For yours, it might be lesser, but it's a range of what? It's a range of expectation, right? Beautiful. So my objective with my speech just sometime is to inspire you to enhance your communication skills for leadership success. Let's start with this. Effective communication is vital, very vital to efficacy in leadership because it helps to do several things. Number one, it helps you. If you can communicate effectively as a leader, number one, it helps you to generate rapport. So that means that the people that you are leading will follow you. Now, I've discovered this. I don't know if you have also seen this, that most of the time, people follow charismatic people. Oh, come on, am I talking to somebody? People follow charismatic people. That means people follow people that talk well. So if you are able to communicate very well, what happens is that you create a rapport, a sense of belonging. People will actually work with you. And if you communicate very well, one of the other things that you will see is that you will see that you will start to have trust. You build trust with people. Because you are able to communicate everything you are thinking, and people see that, you know what, this person is genuine. Your communication must be authentic, right? Next one is that it encourages collaboration. So when you can effectively communicate, you are able to get people on your team to work with you. I have seen it over the years, whether you want to start a church, whether you want to start a business, whether you want to do anything, you have to learn to communicate your vision. If you can't do that, people will not come on board. Now, I'm already jumping ahead of myself now by saying this, that when you are empathetic, when you have empathy, you can put yourself in the shoes of others. People will love you. But guess what? If you don't know where you're going, they won't follow you. It's a matter of time. They will jump off your boat. Are you here? Very important. Now, according to Harvard Business Review, Harvard says the number 1 criteria for advancement and promotion for any professional is what? An ability to communicate effectively. And that was what Roque was talking about, that whether you like it or not, no matter your organization, people, see, it's not about your brilliance, it's about your ability to communicate your brilliance. I don't know whether I'm talking to somebody. You might be, and you know, because I'm a salesperson, I'm a marketing person, one of the things that I've seen over the years is that the best businesses don't really succeed. It's the noisiest businesses. Oh, you didn't get what I just said. The ones that are able to communicate what they're doing. Guess what? It's not even about their product quality. It's about the fact that they're communicating. That's why Coca-Cola is still spending billions of dollars communicating. Oh, you didn't get what I just said. That's why they have a budget. And they're doing all that. So it's important that regardless of who you are, I believe the greatest skill that you must first pick up in life is what? The gift. I call it gift. No, the skill of communication. Right? Are you here? So let's quickly rush through some things. I want to just share with you 5 strategies that I personally have come to terms with, that this is just good. And like I told you, strategies are what? Plans. Definite plans that you what? You follow, you implement to get some certain results. Is that good? And the result that we're looking for is what? Leadership success. You want to succeed in your industry. So I believe I'm talking to leaders right now. We good? Let's look at 5 guaranteed strategies. Number 1, develop your ability to decomplexify subject matters. Pardon me the use of that word, but that's what comes to me. Develop your ability to what? To decomplexify subject matters. And I'll say this because this is how I like to communicate. I like to look for just simple lines to communicate what I'm trying to say. You see, what you don't simplify cannot be amplified. Let me say that again. What you don't simplify cannot be amplified. In other words, most of the time, the challenge with a lot of leaders is that they're so brilliant upstairs, but they're finding it hard to what? To break what they want to communicate into simple language that people will understand. You can't amplify what is not simple. Hello? When I started being a leader, that's when I realized that simplifying things is difficult. In fact, do you know that I discovered that the highest level of intelligence is simplicity? Your ability to break things down into simple, easy to understand bits, that is difficult. I don't know about you, but that sometimes I have to sit down for days because I just want to communicate something. Because I'm looking for the best way to communicate it. How will I say this? Because sometimes, just like Ronke was saying, and I'm going to build on everything that she said, because like I said, it was like she picked it to my notes and I was just like, let me go home. Because the point is, sometimes you want to stand before some people. You need to understand what kind of style of communication am I going to use? Is it going to be formal? Am I going to have to, just like she said, sometimes you have to speak Yoruba. I've had to go to a place where I was told to come and speak to us in Yoruba. I'm like, God almighty. They have finished me today. And what am I going to do? But we did it. You know why? Because I had to sit down prior to that and think things through. So as a leader, you must do what? You must learn to decomplexify subject matters. That is very important. Develop the ability. It's not something you pick up just in a day. But you need to sit with it, because if you're going to succeed in any venture, you must learn to communicate exactly what you're thinking in your head in easy to understand ways. Number 2, develop your ability to communicate, to navigate. Oh yeah. Your communication must bring navigation. I discovered personally, and I'm sure some of us have found out, that leadership is all about solving problems. You solve problems every day. As a leader, you solve problems every day. So you must develop your ability to use your communication to navigate, to put your organization through a lot of things. The people that you are moving, you have to take them along. What the word navigate means, that you take them through obstacles, you take them through this and that, because there are problems. Look at what's happening right now. I don't know about you, but every single day things are going up. Cost of production is going up. You have to encourage people. You've got to solve problems. Some people are having problems in their homes. As a boss, we are having to solve marital issues. Yes. Otherwise, because they bring it to their workplace. One of the things I was solving before, somebody caused trouble because she had a miscarriage. And it became a major thing. So we need to get to that level where we are able to use our communication to help people navigate. You are taking them through processes. You are taking them through places. You have to take them along. There's crisis. There's conflict. You must intentionally use your communication gift, your skill. I don't know why I'm using gifts. You use that skill to navigate and take them along. Number 3, strategy 3, develop your ability to communicate with clarity. That's difficult, isn't it? Clarity. Sitting down to ensure that your communication is clear. You don't just talk because you want to talk. You talk to convey something specific. And I wrote it here that good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. When you communicate well, people don't get confused. I don't know about you, but I've spoken so many times that people will tell me, excuse me, what did you just say? I'm like, okay. So I learned something from a mentor of mine years ago. He said, until you've spoken it 5 times, you have not said anything. So you say the same thing 5 times in different ways. The same thing. Why? Because you see, people understand differently. So you got to say it. You keep on saying it. I'm also a pastor. And I've seen over the years that you have to teach the same thing in different ways. The same year, you see behavior in the midst of the people, and you find a way to what? Correct it from the pulpit. You keep on teaching it. You keep on conveying it. You find different ways to teach the same thing. In fact, you change the title, but it's the same message. You find a way to do that. Because I've discovered that, you see, the only way you will truly know whether what you are saying, people have gotten it, is through feedback. All right? So you ask them. Very simple. Call them. This is what I said. What did you hear? What did you hear? Okay, so yesterday, my wife wanted to send my son somewhere, and my second son, and he And so she was like, no, let me send my daughter. So she feels, and I don't believe in that. I believe that everybody must be trained. Everybody's useful, right? But you see, some of us believe that sometimes that let's use those who are very able, right? But you see, don't forget, as a leader, you see those people that are not able right now, they'll become able if you put a little more attention on them. So I believe everybody should be trained. In fact, in my house chore is not gender-based. It's not gender-based. I don't believe that a lady should cook, a lady should wash clothes. No. We wash clothes. And for your information, I'm not ashamed to say it, I wash clothes. Right? I mop the floor, I cook. You follow what daddy is doing. So it's just simple. I cook. At days I just take over the kitchen. I'm comfortable with it. It's fine. Doesn't make me less of a man. You understand? That's what leadership is. You model what you want people to follow. Right? You don't just come and say, we are doing this. No. You do it and then they follow you. Right? So I said, you know what? Let him come. So we sat him down and then I prepared a script for him. So I told him, this is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to say. And then, okay, give it back to me. And then he gave it back to me. So he went, came back again, and then gave it back to me. This is what I said. I said, round of applause for you. Well done. So we get feedback. That's how we ensure that it is. As a leader, you have to be careful. Because everything you say will be quoted in places you can't expect. So you've got to ensure that you are very clear with what you are saying. Number 4, strategy 4, develop your ability to communicate with empathy. I have learned this over the years. That when you are talking to people, please use emotional intelligence. Please be emotionally intelligent when you're talking to people. Because people are going through a lot. Like I told you, somebody misbehaved because she just had a miscarriage and we didn't know. We didn't know. So just imagine that she just walked in and then we were just shouting on her, right? And then the next thing she just here and there and all those things. So we need to learn to communicate with empathy, right? Find a way to know the people that you are leading. Find a way to carry them along because you are not successful until what you are trying to achieve as a leader is done. And you need people to do that. Hello? We cannot work in isolation of our systems. Why? Because it's the people that make the systems function. So we need them. But to get them to work, we must become more what? We must show more empathy. We must listen more. Right? Are we here? Right? Even in the rule of law, empathy is allowed. Hello? Empathy is allowed. That somebody misbehaved, yes, the law will still handle you, but the law still allows for empathy. Are we here? So we need to understand that. We need to develop our ability to do that. And I want to say this quickly, that until you empathize with, you won't be able to synergize with. Until you empathize with, you won't be able to synergize with. The word synergize means to collaborate, right? You cannot collaborate with people who don't believe you care for them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. People will not follow you until they believe that you believe in them. And so that's why we need to. So years ago, something happened to me, and I never forgot that story. I never forgot that experience. I was a young boy. I was taking a lesson. That was the days of Ghanaian teachers. Remember those times? We had Ghanaian teachers back in Nigeria then. And, so I was taking lessons after school. And so my Ghanaian teacher took me to the lesson place, which was another person's house. A wealthy man thereabout, okay? So I grew up in an average home and all that. And while there, trying to learn, the rich man's son actually spoiled his father's formica table. And guess who they said did it? Moi. So I got into trouble, right? But something happened. My father did something that changed my life. So when I was accused and the Ghanaian teacher came to my dad, your son destroyed it. My father called me. He said, Nee, come here. Did you spoil that table? I said, no, sir. He looked at the man and said he didn't do it. Oh, somebody didn't get what I just said. He said he didn't do it. He said, and I stand behind him. Guess what? From that day on, I felt big. Guess what? I told myself I would never let my father down again. There's something called the gift of trust. When you give it to the people you lead, it changes their mentality. You see, and I started using it also. So my children, sometimes they did it, Yeah, they did it. But they said they didn't do it. So I believe you. You didn't do it, right? No problem. I trust you. You can lie. You were raised well. You're a good person. Guess what? They never do it again. So we must learn to empathize. We must learn to trust the people that we're leading. Excuse me. They left their lives to follow you. Oh, you didn't hear me. They follow you for a reason. You cannot afford to dump them anyhow because they're following you. Are you here? Number 5, develop your ability to communicate with confidence. And, okay, was saying that. I was like, no, don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go. Well, she went there, but I'll still drop some things. So develop your ability to communicate with confidence. Now, you see, interesting things that, like you said, you become confident over time. Confidence is built over time. Of course, confidence is a combination of various factors. The way you look, the way you sound, the way you dress, all those things. By the way, you cannot dress like a suspect and expect that will treat you like a prospect. It's not possible. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's literal. You can. Joseph, before he moved into the palace, he had to dress well. Come on. You got to clean up. It's normal. Are you here? I almost said amen. Okay, I did. It's just normal. Just do that. Basically, it's just there. So develop your confidence. Dress well. Talk well. Come on, be competent. One of the things that gives you credibility. I say that 3 things give you credibility. Number 1 is competence. You improve your ability. Read all there is to it. Become a master in your industry. Oh, come on now. Let me tell somebody, look to your side, front, right, left. Look everywhere and tell them, become a master in your industry. It's just key. It's powerful. Do that. It builds your competence. Are you here? Sit down and study. You don't want to know how many certificates I don't put out there, but I have amassed. It's just you keep on learning. Because look, it's where you're going that you're walking towards. I say, I don't know where you're going, but I know where I'm going. Hello? You see, where you're going should determine the kind of certificates and competence you are taking on. Because, it tells us we're going to stand before kings and not mere men, right? Yeah. So we want to stand before kings. There's a language you speak in the presence of kings. I was somewhere and I was talking to them. Ladies, I'm passionate about helping ladies. Don't mind me. I'm the only son. I'm the firstborn. I have 4 sisters. So I'm passionate about ladies. So I'm biased. I'm sorry if you're offended. I was talking to them. And when I was talking to them, I told them, I said, there's a way you package, because they're business people. There's a way you package for kings. There are some products kings will never buy. Hello? The same way you want to enter into the presence of kings all the time, you've got to package for kings. Oh my God. You've got to package for kings. So for you to grow that's number 1. Number 2 is character. If you're going to grow your confidence level, you've got to have character. Hello? Character is powerful. I discovered character is king. Hello? Regardless of whatever anybody tells you, we want to be sure that we can trust you. We want to be sure that you have integrity. We want to be sure that your yes is yes and your no is no. That gives you power. Number 3 is charisma, of course, which we're talking about the issue of you packaging, putting yourself together. That is very, very important. I want to say this, that confidence makes rubbish look like gold. Confidence makes rubbish look like gold. I remember when I started in ministry under my pastor, Dr. Abafemi Dewole, back then. I remember he would give us, just like Runke was saying, he would give us 2 minutes, just come and say something. Many of us will come, take the mic, nothing, we'll drop the mic, walk away. Then you come back again, then you speak for 2 minutes, then they will give us 30 minutes, and then you talk 10 minutes and everything's done. Then you come back again. But today, I can tell you that many of us can now speak effectively for hours. It's a matter of time. All right? Are you here? But one thing you start with, you speak your rubbish confidently at first. All right? And then you grow yourself over time. I'll round up with this. Just 2 more bonus and then just go off. I'm almost done. Communicate with effectiveness. Communicate with effectiveness. Be effective. Don't just come and talk. Make sure that what you're coming to do is effective. What does it mean to be effective? You do the right thing at the right time for the right amount of time. Are we here? Last but not the least, and this is just a freebie from me. If you're going to learn to succeed as a leader and communicate effectively, please have mentors. I was told by my mentor that mentors protect us from tormentors. There are many of us that are under torment today. You are struggling because you refuse to submit to somebody. You refuse to follow somebody. I wish you saw my slide. One of my favorite mentors in communication is Pastor Paul Adefarasi. I spent some years under him. You've got to be intentional about what you do, everything that you do. But before you grow up and become the best, make sure that you follow people who know the road. Thank you very much.